As if you didn't already know, your life is not meant to be spent living behind that desk. Going to work, making that money, doing what you need to do to provide and, take care of yourself is perfectly fine. To a certain extent, everybody has to do it at some point in their life. But you have to acknowledge when that environment is keeping you stuck and it's not actually what's meant for you. Once you put in, let's say those 4 hours, 8 hours, even 12 hours, if you're really hustling it like that, make sure you have enough time for yourself. Make sure you have enough time to go to the gym. Make sure you have enough time to start the business, start the other endeavors. My papa told me some game. He was like, it is impossible to get rich working a job. Why? Because you simply won't have the time. You won't have the energy. Jobs at work, they typically take the best hours of your day, right? Your 9 to 5, your morning, early afternoon, that's when you usually have the most energy and it's automatically getting gave to your job, right? Or let's say you work a night shift. Now everything's threw off in a way to where you're more than likely sleeping throughout the days because you got to wake up at night. It's like, it doesn't really matter how you try to put it. It's always going to catch up to you in some type of facet. And I know a lot of you guys are living life just day by day. Time is just flying straight past you guys because you aren't being intentional with your time. If you just let life take you on the roller coaster and that endless just train of emotion, there's no saying where you're going to end up in life. There's no saying that you may not repeat the same cycles that your parents did. There's no saying that you will actually ever get to what you desire or, that ideal life, right? If you aren't planning for it beforehand. That means sacrificing. With me, right, I can correlate this to, let's say, my college journey, right? I went to college, didn't necessarily want to. I already knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, build my business, be a creative, all this other type of stuff, right? But in the process of me doing that, I was rubbing people wrong because I didn't want to go get a typical, 9 to 5 job. I was okay with making less up front and, I was okay with making less in the short term in order to plant the seeds and secure the long-term vision, right? And when I very first made that decision, because my job, it wasn't a corporate, space or anything like that. It was Starbucks, right? When I was working at this job and when I finally quit the job, nothing on my outside said this was a smart idea. I wasn't making any money. I didn't have any clients. I didn't have any network. I was fresh butt into the game. You get what I'm saying? I was just brand new. Yet I quit because I had just got accepted to the film school. I was just going kind of off intuition and emotion, which is crazy enough because people always say don't make decisions out of emotion. But when you don't have anything, when you're at ground zero, sometimes your emotions is the best things that you do have because you don't have any knowledge. You don't have any insight. You don't have anybody telling you what to do. You have to go off your intuition and hope your intuition leads you to what you were trying to get to. And that's exactly what was happening. I was just taking pictures. I was just networking. I was just keeping my eye open to potential possibilities where I could, make some money. And long and behold, as life started progressing, I'm not going to say that it was super duper consistent. I was stressed out majority of the time, right? And I still am stressed out. But I've been seeing the numbers go up to where I have a little bit of a cushion, But that only came from me taking a stupid ass risk, right? Quitting everything. But then another thing too, and I feel like I also need to say this because it's very important, not rushing yourself, living underneath your means, right? If you are blessed with a parent who will let you stay at their house, take advantage of it. You know, I feel like, truthfully speaking, I progressed in certain areas of my life and I was able to build way faster and conquer certain areas because I stayed at my parents, right? I was able to actually get myself and get my business to a point where I was seeing, 4-figure checks, where I was able to start paying off bills by closing off contracts and closing off deals, with editing, photography, etc. It took a lot of groundwork and it took a lot of failures to get to that point. And if I didn't have a space to where I could go back to ground zero, be like, you know what? I am okay with losing this deal, or I'm okay with, not belittling myself just to get the deal, because if all else fails, I still have a roof over my head. Like that was a certain level of confidence where it was like, I could completely fail, I'll still have somewhere to sleep. Right? So I'm about to take the craziest risk. I'm about to take the stupidest risk. I'm about to take the most self-fulfilling, just highest desired risk while I'm young and we have these spaces to get forward. But so many people, now I can't even act like it's somewhat of the kids sometimes, because a lot of the parents, y'all do be trying to kick y'all kids out and do all this other type of stuff when they hit 18, which is also another thing. And I also really want to say this too. When I am around wealthy non-black people, right, wealthy white people, I'm just going to get very clear in other words, but you get what I'm saying? When I'm around them, their children will live with them until they're damn near 30, and they won't say anything to them. They won't be trying to hit at their confidence. They won't be trying to be like, oh, you need to get a job, like what's going on? It'd be like, no, leave when you're ready. You get what I'm saying? Leave when you are actually on your 2 feet and you're ready to go, right? And that allows that child to not feel as if he's stuck to an environment or a job or a place or whatever the case may be, just because he has to take care of himself, right? A lot of us are getting put into survival mode way too soon, and then wondering why it's becoming difficult for us to like climb up certain levels and do certain things in life, when it's like we didn't even get a fair opportunity to try shit out. You get what I'm saying? Like the early, like late teens, early 20s, you need to be trying things. You need to be, I kind of want to do this. I think I can do this. God keeps telling me that, hey, might be able to do this. I'm about to try it. There's no guarantee, but there is nothing to lose. When you don't have anything to lose, that is the best place to be at. Truly ask yourself, and this is for my younger people too, the ones my age, what do you really have to lose? Chances are you don't have a child. Chances are you do have parents or somebody who could, you could stay with, but you probably don't want to because of all the chaos and arguments and stuff in the house, but there probably is, right? So you wouldn't lose your livelihood. I don't know. Like there's so many different things that people think I have to hold on to this, but it's like you really don't have anything. What you might have a college degree at this point, maybe or may not. You may have a couple $1,000s saved in your savings, if it's not a couple dollars. You get what I'm saying? You don't have anything to lose. So why not bet everything on the possibility of you gaining everything instead of the fear of you losing the little bit of what you have? Even if nothing worked and you lost what you had, you barely had anything to begin with. Let it go. But if you gain everything, then that you go down in history as one of the smartest, littest, whatever the case may be. You go down in history because you betted on yourself and it worked. And the people who make history are the ones who bet on themselves. The people who live life like everybody else is the ones who, unfortunately, were victims to the workplace. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of you guys are like, I don't know what I'm passionate about. I don't know what I like doing. I don't know my interests. Like, I genuinely just don't know my purpose. But then you're going to work every single day for 8 to 12 hours. You aren't even giving yourself enough time to figure yourself out. You aren't giving yourself enough time to learn yourself. Sometimes it's a little bit beneficial to take that 8 hours, push it to a 4-hour shift, do it part-time, so you have enough time outside of work to actually learn yourself, to actually build the business, to actually learn your passions, to actually learn what your purpose may be in life. It takes time and space to do those certain type of things. But if you aren't the type of person who's like, okay, I'm just okay with, just going to work, making X amount of money just so I can pay X bill and I can just live life on chill mode. As long as I have enough money for food, weed, whatever the case may be, I'm fine. If that's you, then okay. You can work the 8 hours. You can do the 8 to 12 hours. Like, you can do that. That's a route, because nothing on this planet is wrong. Choice is like amazing. You can literally do whatever you want, and it's not up to me or anybody else to say you're an idiot or you're dumb for wanting to like stay right there. You can choose to stay where you are. But if you don't want to stay there, You have to consciously break the cycle because it's ingrained in everybody from birth in lower tax brackets that you need to kill yourself to go. You need to literally overwork and overexalt yourself just to take care of yourself. That's only a headspace in the minority, which is the majority. You get what I'm saying? The elites, or not even the elites, the wealthy, they understand time is their essence. Why do you think they get to a point where they hire other people to do the things that they don't know how to do, or that would take them too long, or that they just flat out don't want to do? Because they understand time is to their essence. If I can save this 15 minutes by paying this person to clean my room rather than me doing it myself, that's 15 minutes, right? Because they understand that that's 15 minutes that I could have been doing something else. If you're in a predicament where you don't even know yourself, you don't know your passions, you don't know your interest, you need to purposely break the rhythm. Break the rhythm that you're in. That's why I said go from 8 to 4. Start making more time throughout your day. Switch up your schedule to where you may have your afternoons open or something like that. I'm not sure. That comes down to how you want to, manage your life. You feel me? But dude, sitting behind that desk thinking that's going to be the way that you get out, it's not going to happen like that. It's not. And it's a cold reality to accept, but once you accept that, sooner than later, the quicker you are going to be able to remove yourself from the situation. The quicker you can acknowledge the things I want out of life, I can't get it working here, the sooner you're going to have the balls and the courage to do something different. You want to know one of the biggest things, one of the biggest pulls, and why I also had so much confidence in quitting that job at Starbucks was because every single day I was scrolling past people on Instagram with Lamborghinis, penthouses, mansions, literally living their life, right? And every single time I would see that and I would look at my $15 an hour paycheck, I would immediately tell myself it is literally impossible to cash out on this Lambo working here. I would not only have to work insane hours, I would have to overtime it damn near 60 to 80 hours a week. But then I wouldn't be able to spend any money because I'm saving up for a Lambo and I'm only making $15 an hour. I can't. Rent's out the question, food's out the question, clothes is out the question, everything's out the question. I literally have to go to work and save every penny. And then maybe in 30, 40, 50 years, I'll have enough to pay for that Lambo in full. You know how fucked up that is? No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I saw that quicker. And I was like, okay. There's people with these things, though. And they're not in here with me. I've never seen a fast food worker with one of these. Of course, if they have some type of outside event, you get what I'm saying. Not the anomalies who done started businesses while they were working and what I'm essentially telling you guys to do. I'm talking about the straight, I just go to McDonald's every day. I'm your typical cashier. I'm your typical, corporate route, whatever the case may be. They don't end up in those positions unless they are literally they scale to CEO type levels, which is very hard. It's going to take a lot of energy. And crazy enough, if you had enough energy to scale to a CEO position in a dominant company, chances are you also had enough energy to figure out what you love and figure out how to make what you are passionate about take care of your bare necessities. You get what I'm saying? If you are able to get to a point where you are able to make millions of dollars a year in somebody else's company, you definitely had enough energy to at least make $10,000 a month off your own gifts. You had the energy, you had the focus, and you had the mindset. But once again, this always comes down to what you're choosing to do. Do the things that you actually want. And in order for you to figure that out, you have to destimulate yourself. You have to take a step back. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel like you're losing things at certain times. But I would rather detach and let the things that aren't for me leave so I have enough room to accept the things that are for me. Holding on to too many things that aren't for you is going to cause the things that are for you to miss you. Because it's like playing, like, imagine like you're playing football or you're playing a sport or something like that. You decided to walk around the field and pick up all the footballs and all the little balls that was on the field, right? And just hold them because you're like, oh my God, look everybody, I have all these balls. Look, they were just around here. Nobody was picking them up. But the moment the quarterback actually threw the football, you didn't have no hands to catch it. It went straight past you because you're holding on to so many things that's not important. What was important was the football that was in the air, not the ones on the floor. Do you get what I'm saying? The jobs, the people, the places, a lot of times those are the balls on the floor where you can literally go pick those up at any given time because they're not moving. There's one big goal. There's one big objective that you guys want or that you guys foresee or that you guys are trying to go after. That if you focus on that, you focus on the ball in the air and you get your hands ready, you might just catch that thing and you might change the whole trajectory of your life. So take this with a grain of salt, but don't at the same time, because time is of essence and you don't have 30 years to make a decision because you're also going to be 30 years older. The sooner you make these decisions and the sooner you start to believe in yourself and start making space, that's literally all you got to do. If you know jobs aren't for you, then start making more space for you to do things that could potentially make you money without you having to go to work. Be intentional. And over time, you will get there. Over time, you will rewire your chemistry and rewire your cells within you. And you're just going to be receptive to different things. Because once again, these opportunities are always around us. They don't just leave. You can be doing something else and still have the opportunity right there. But it's not until you switch your perspective or you switch your standpoint or switch just something that that opportunity becomes clear. It's like the opportunity could be right here, but you're looking right here. And the moment you step back, you can kind of see the other one in the peripheral. And you're like, oh, let me look right here. And then you get what I'm saying? It's all rewiring, 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 rewiring. So yeah, with that being said, I love you guys. I love you guys. My books is down in the description. Make sure you guys go down in the comments and let me know what you guys are feeling. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I love y'all.